Ladies and gents, strap in. It's Arsenal versus Manchester United. And tonight, the real battle starts right here. In the red corner, Lee Hospitality Judges, the king of calling it how it is. Coming in, all guns blazing.
Listen, Rooney, right? Battered, yeah? You had air. Didn't have no air when you played in that game. Like, all of a sudden you got air.
And in the other corner, Flackington, pure energy, no breaks, turning the pressure into smoke and bringing the madness every time.
Bruno Fernandes is the player you wish Martin Ødegaard was. Bruno Fernandes is the captain you wish Martin Ødegaard was.
Two fans, two heavyweights, one battle. Let's get ready to clash. Current Arsenal team versus 2008 Manchester United. Who would win?
I mean, bless little Theo Walcott in his cotton socks for talking to the big man Rooney like that. I don't think it's a discussion. Like, this Arsenal team is good, but it hasn't done anything. It hasn't won anything. When you're talking about the 08 team, you're talking about Hall of Famers. You're talking about winning 3 Premier Leagues in a row, winning the Champions League. You know, like, it's a different kettle of fish. You're talking Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, Berbatov, Carrick himself actually was top, Rio Ferdinand, Evra, Vidic. Like, it's not even a discussion.
No, listen, I'll tell you what though, like, you know, listen, Rooney, right? Battered, yeah? You had air. Didn't have no air when you played in that game. Like, all of a sudden you got air, right? How dare you say you would batter? No disrespect. I do think that United's team would win it, right? But I've got a bit more respect than you, Rooney. Okay?
It'll be a close game.
It'll be a close game. You know?
I don't even think it was close. Even that team, when we obviously...
I think defensively, I think we're very, very strong. And I think at the end of the day, I look at, you know, that 2008 side, it was very, very good. And do you know what? You hit the point there. They've already won things. You know, and I think that's the key at this moment in time. Arsenal, I don't think you're seeing the real deal with Arsenal because it's still in its virginity years as far as winning trophies is concerned.
It's early.
It's early. But I think that if we were to go on and win the trophy this season, like, I think we'd be a better version in a couple of years.
Well, you'd be a more credible version, isn't it? Because you've got the medals to back up what this progress or what this what this team has in it, this limit that it has, or, you know, talent that it has in it, it would be sort of validated. Because that's the only thing Arsenal are waiting for, is validation, to be like, the team's good, but here's our medals to prove it. Here's
exactly right. And the validation is what Man United had at 2008 because of what they've built up. And, you know, you mentioned all those players. What have they got in common? They're all winners. Mm. You know what I mean? As much as I don't like Rooney, and by the way, I put him in front of Ireland, which I'm changing now.
No, you can't change it. You got to be honest. He's a great, even as an Englishman. Forget United. Forget your United bias. Even as an Englishman, for me, he is England's, like, of this generation.
Listen, I'm
best ever player, greatest ever.
Yeah,
player.
I put him in front of Haaland when I've done a Man United, Man City, the best and everything, because it's not only his goals; it's what he was as a footballer as well. Like, you know,
could do everything.
But and the only thing I don't like him, he should, you know, enhance baldness. That's all I'm saying, Rooney. He should enhance it.
He did when he was playing. Like you said, he was young. I mean, lost his hair. Then he got a little transplant back end of his career, and he's you know, he's doing all right. When you're that good, mate, just do what you want.
Well, when you're that good, you should have stayed bald.
Who is the better captain? Bruno Fernandes or Martin Ødegaard?
Lee, I'm going to give the floor to you here first because I'm going to go. I'm one of Bruno's biggest fans, but there's only one answer here.
Yeah.
And I think you know it deep down, but the floor's yours.
Yeah, I think Martin wins this hands down. And the reason why he wins it hands down, you horrible Man United lot, is that since he's been captain, look at the consistency of the Arsenal team. Win, second up there. I don't think they're the captain material, and this is both of them, in when I was playing sort of captain, like, you know, roll up your sleeves sort of captain. But it's different football now and all that, like, you know. I think Bruno Fernandes is one of the most underrated players. I do believe that, like, you know. I think he's a very, very good player. And when you need Bruno Fernandes, right? And I think he gets a lot of criticism for this. He steps up, i.e. Liverpool last season, Manchester City this season again. I thought he was outstanding in that game. I do think there's flaws on both, but I just think with Arsenal over the last few seasons where we've been consistently, I think with Man United, it drops up and down and all that. Sometimes you need a bit of more of a consistent leader. I think Martin Ødegaard's done that.
Completely disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah, the answer is Bruno Fernandes, without a shadow of it. Bruno Fernandes is the player you wish Martin Ødegaard was. Bruno Fernandes is the captain you wish Martin Ødegaard was. Realistically at Arsenal, if we're being honest, you guys probably want Declan Rice to be your captain because he's someone you look at. Even Tony Adams said it, mate. One of your greatest ever captains even looked at the captain situation at Arsenal and said...
I'm sure Roy Keane has doubted
he has
as well. One of the greatest captains as well.
He has. But you said it yourself, right? When you need Bruno Fernandes, he's there. Manchester United's worst ever period. You look at what he does and how consistent.
He's been captain in your worst period.
Yeah, but you're not. Football's a team game. There's only so much you can do. You uphold your end of the bargain. And last time I checked, since Bruno Fernandes has come into Manchester United, he's done his job. He also lays on a whole load of chances since he's come. Bruno Fernandes, since he's come to the Premier League, has created the most chances out of every player since he's come here in Man United's worst form. That's over Kevin De Bruyne. That's over Mo Salah. That's over Saka. That's over Ødegaard. That's over Trent. No, you're talking about top players. Bruno Fernandes consistently does his job. And Ødegaard, there's loads of times where he's gone missing. Loads of time where he doesn't step up to the plate. Loads of time you're looking towards the captain to go, where are you? It's Declan Rice is the one I'm seeing dragging Arsenal through the mud. Saka's the one I'm seeing drag Arsenal through the mud. Gabriel's the one I'm saying getting hold of it and saying this is how we're going to do things here. Not Ødegaard with the hair flicks and the rolling the ball with the studs and he's looking nice. Not him.
I remember when...
and he's a good player, by the way.
I remember when Marcus Rashford come to the Emirates and scored and everybody, and Man United then was celebrating and going mad.
Yeah,
and then
Ødegaard
steps up. And I will say this,
he's a good footballer.
And that's where I think stats go a little bit against Bruno, right? I think a lot of teams, the big teams at this moment in time, play under like the banks of four and dropping that. If you have a look at the game against Man United, and listen, Man City, Man United, no, I'm not having a dig when I say this because I thought Man United were great, but it's counter-attacking open spaces and things like that. When you're playing banks of four, you've got to create open spaces and all that, like, and that is more difficult. I think Bruno at this moment in time, and listen, I'm having a, I do right. I think it's a little bit more opened up for him, and that's why he can play a little bit more. When it's a little bit blocks, different.
I think what he possesses is all of it. If we've seen Bruno Fernandes play further away from the goal under Amorim, which was criminal, but was still affecting the game. 19 goals, 19 assists last year, and Man United finished 15th. We finished 15th, and he still got 19 goals. That's not a very good
captain, then, is it? If you're finishing 15th.
But what it shows you is look at the rest of the team. Look at the criminal manager. He can't do it all by himself. Martin Ødegaard. If Martin Ødegaard played for this version of Man United, we wouldn't see anywhere near what we see with Bruno Fernandes.
Well, I don't know.
If Bruno Fernandes played for Arsenal, he'd bring those numbers, that consistency. You would have won a league a lot sooner.
I don't think that they will because for those reasons that I've said, like,
But actually, Martin Ødegaard. Actually, since Martin Ødegaard's been the captain, he ain't won a thing.
Yeah, but
did he win the FA Cup? He weren't even the captain then.
What's
he won?
We're building.
Bruno's won an FA Cup against Manchester City in the final. Have you even got to a final with him?
Oh, hold on. There's plenty of time.
It's all because you cheeky.
There's plenty of time.
You haven't even got to a final with this guy.
And we will do.
Won anything with this guy.
This guy will win winning things.
Bruno Fernandes won. Listen, there's nothing to shout about, but I'm just saying, we can only talk about two players in question here. Bruno Fernandes in Man United's worst period has won a Carabao Cup, FA Cup. Right, what's Ødegaard done?
Consistency. Consistency is the key, like, and I'll tell you something about Martin Ødegaard, which really does annoy me and all that. When we go back, if Arsenal win the league this season, right, you go back to a game, Newcastle away, totally dominating Newcastle, playing really, really well. Unbelievably, we're 1-0 down. 1-0 down.
Yeah.
On comes the captain.
Oh, yeah.
2-1, game-changing situation. We'll leave it there.
did
Next question,
you,
please.
You did a cute job, but you guys know what it really is.
Who is the better midfielder? Michael Carrick or Mikel Arteta?
Next question.
Even Lee knows this. Look, I'm not going to be disrespectful to Mikel Arteta, but he was shit.
No, he was. Do you know
he weren't
what?
shit, he weren't
I'm
shit,
going to
he
say
weren't-
this
he
now.
weren't shit,
We
but
never had
character
the best Mikel Arteta. He was better. He was when he was at Everton before his knee injury. He was a fantastic footballer.
Yeah.
Right, then he had the knee injury. Then he came to Arsenal. He wasn't quite as good then. I don't even think it's a debate.
It's actually not. Michael Carrick as well.
Carrick was actually an underrated player. I think. And we had a chance to sign him. You know that, didn't you? I think he was at.
Just before we went to us.
No, I think
When
it
was
was
it?
when he was at Portsmouth. I think he was at Portsmouth, and he went to Spurs in the end. But I think we was favourites to sign when we didn't, and we let him go to Spurs. You know what I mean? So
Phenomenal footballer. I think people who know and love their football properly, how good of a player Michael Carrick is.
Yeah, I think he's a midfield player.
He's a maestro, mate. Left foot, right foot, always passing forward. He'd put midfielders to shame now. All of this stuff where half of these guys can't pass, half of these guys are scared to take risks, half of these guys can't pass with their weaker foot. And Michael Carrick in this day and age is actually what's missing in midfield. There's very few.
Yeah.
There's very few.
I agree with that, and I think the greatest point you make there is that he was never afraid to. And when you say brave, it ain't necessarily in the tackle. Right? Brave is when you're picking the ball up on the edge of the box when you can lose the ball and all that.
Exactly.
And he'd do that all the time.
100%. He weren't a Declan Rice. He didn't. Weren't physical dominator
like that.
that.
A player like Declan Rice and Carrick, there'd be a
different conversation.
Different conversation. But yeah, Michael Carrick.
It's not really a fair fight to me.
No, it wasn't a fair fight.
That was a bit
you know when you're on enemy territory when you get that sort of question.
Bit of bullying, but we move.
Will Arsenal win the league this season?
Thank you, Man United, for what you did for us against Man City. Yes, I do believe that Arsenal are the best team in the league this season. I've been fortunate enough to see and follow Arsenal when they've won the leagues. I've also watched it as a neutral when I've seen you guys win leagues and all that. If we don't win the league this season, it's not because of anybody else. It's because of us. I think that we are the best team in the league. I think we proved that in the last. Not even the last season, the last couple of seasons. I do think 2 seasons ago when we lost to Man City that they were the better team.
Yeah.
Even though we had a great chance to win it. Last season, I think, injuries and all that, can't make excuses, but Liverpool deserved it. But I think this season we've looked at it and we've learnt from our mistakes, i.e. with the squad. What we've got to do now is not make the mistakes mentality. If we can do that, I think we'll win it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. People know here on this community, this channel, I've wanted Arsenal to win the league this year because I believed you was in the race at the beginning of the season with City and Liverpool. I thought that's what it would be between you three.
As a Man United fan, who if it's out of Man City and Arsenal, who do you want?
Arsenal, yeah. And it changes.
I'm with that with now. If Man United were up against Man City years ago, please forgive me. I would have gone Man City.
Yeah.
Do you know? But now, Man United all day.
Man United. I mean, look, for me, I get it because for fans like us, loads of London United fans not born in Manchester, the Arsenal fans are unbearable. That's our banter. That we used to go band for band and go for titles together back in the day. And I get that, and I know a load more Arsenal fans than I do Man City fans. But I just err more on the side of, I don't know. It's just how I choose to support a club. Like for me, if you're gonna support a club and you end up supporting a club like Man United, you're signing your book, mate. You hate Liverpool, you hate Man City, you hate Leeds. If any teams are going up against them teams, forget your mates that might annoy you because you know a few more of them. Your football club, what it stands for in the city of Manchester, even though I'm not from there. It's not. I don't want to see City winning 4 in a row and winning a treble. And to me, that hurts. I don't care that I don't know any City fans. It's still a disgrace to me. I hate it. And I know they've got way more titles to get before they surpass, 20 titles and things like that. But for me as a United fan, when I've signed up to support this club, those are the 3 teams you hate.
Yeah.
Now, I can stomach, some can't because of their hatred for Arsenal fans and social media, and they want to keep seeing you being miserable. And I've enjoyed you being miserable. But if it's between City and Liverpool, it's a no-brainer for me. I can stomach you winning your first title in 24 years. 20. How long is it going to be? 24 years?
Not as long
How
as
much?
that.
How much? 21.
We're not
I can stomach you winning your first league in 21 years, and all on my timeline. Yes, it's going to be annoying. In my group chats, talk to us different. We're the champions now. I can't call you bottle jobs anymore. But I'd rather that than City just win it again. I honestly would. And I've been comfortable with it. I don't really hate Arsenal like that. I did when we were going at it.
Oh, look, listen,
Do you know what I mean? But
I wanted.
You're the best team.
I've always wanted Man United to win 2 games a year. Right? That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now I want you to win 4.
Yeah, a bit more than that. But no, I do agree though that you will win the league, and I agree 100% is if you don't win it, it will be because of yourselves. You're going to be your own worst enemy. I think the PTSD for Arsenal fans is what your issue is. That's why the fan base is like, you get a draw against Forest. It's like, oh, but we should have done this. You draw at home to Liverpool. This is not a year where you have to be flawless. You have to be perfect. Yeah. City have dropped off. Liverpool, you're 7 points clear, mate. You don't need to go in January and get this and get... Just go and win the thing.
Yeah.
Just go and win the thing. And you can do it by dropping points here or there. You don't lose many football matches.
Yeah.
How many games you lost this year?
2?
2? Need I say more?
Will Man United qualify for the Champions League this season?
Go on, Lee. I want to see what the neutral thinks about this.
I think they will. And I'll tell you why. I think...
Give me something, Lee. I need the positive
No,
vibes.
from January to May, the teams above you and in and around you have got European football, got distractions in the Cup. Now, I know you want those sort of distractions, but I think at the end of the day now, with a new manager, with Carrick and all that, what he can do, you can get the rest that you need, but you can also get the work done on the training field, which is something that you can't do if you're playing Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, whatever. You need that little bit there. And I think that will be a blessing in disguise for you guys. Because at the end of the day, you've got good players. There's still some good players at Man United. You know what I mean? The way they were playing and whatever under the last regime weren't good enough. As a neutral, gutted that he's...
Yeah, I bet you wanted a lifetime contract.
Particularly when we're playing you this week. I know what I'll rather be playing, an Amorim Man United or a Carrick Man United, or even another Man United.
Yeah, just not Amorim.
Just that. I just think that will get you over the line.
Yeah, I'm believing. I've got this new... I'm fed up of being miserable. I'm fed up of going to the games with no hope, no nothing, no energy, no belief. So I do believe we're going to get European football, Champions League football, whether that's top 5 or top 4. I think what's probably more realistic is the 5th spot. You still need Villa to come down a little bit. City, the way they're going, to be fair, you can catch them. Liverpool are, a little bit up and down. Chelsea there, I get it, it's tough. A lot of teams get past, but I do think absolutely 1 game a week with this new energy. I think it's because we had 1 game a week with Ruben. He made sure we went out of the Carabao Cup. We had 1 game a week with extra time on the training ground, but it was doing the wrong things on the training ground. But I think with Carrick playing in this way with players with a bit of a pickup, we've been in interim vibes before. 16 games, 16 finals, if you want to call it that, to get European football. I'm going to be positive. I do think he gets it. I do think he gets it. Yeah, I'm going to say yeah.
Which ex-players are more biased as pundits? Arsenal or Manchester United?
Well, bias. I mean, our players ain't biased. Our ex-pros, batter us. Yours are... I've never seen Martin Keown say a bad word about Arsenal. He's completely biased. Theo Walcott, he's fair, but he's not super critical, super hard. Henry's, I think, hard to get praise out of, but I don't think he bashes the team. You see what's going on with Nicky Bart, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane's always having a go. Our legends don't really want to come to the forefront for us and kind of do what other teams do. You see Carragher, he tries to keep it a bit, don't want to go in on Liverpool. Gerrard does the same thing. I feel like ours... I feel like I'd say yours. But bias makes it sound like I think yours are a bit deluded and always talking up Arsenal when they don't deserve it. The only one I would say that always is biased, I would say, is Keown. He never says a bad word against us.
Do you know what? I actually don't think any Man United... I wouldn't... I don't agree. I don't know if you... I don't think that Gary Neville should commentate on Man United games, right? I don't think Jamie Carragher should commentate on...
you just don't think anyone...
And I don't think Alan Smith should do it for Arsenal. I don't. I don't like it. I don't think it's really what you need to have. But I get it. But I don't actually sit there and go, oh, he's biased or he's biased and all that. I think Roy Keane... By the way, I couldn't stand Roy Keane as a footballer, right? for obvious reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but as a pundit, I think he's just the best. I think he says it how it is. Martin Keown, like, you know, when he did say something the other week, was it about Ødegaard was the best player on the pitch, and I thought, what game are you watching?
Because you don't want to say nothing bad.
Right, you know what I mean? But I love that.
Yeah.
As a fan, I love that. I don't know if you.
Well, we don't really experience it. We don't really experience because it's been so bad. We haven't had our legends sort of come out and protect them no matter what. Andy Cole's quite fair, tries to be positive. Rio's quite positive, or tries to. He doesn't like to stick the boot in. He'll be constructive. I think when you go Scholes, you know, but
Nicky Butt's been very. Like,
he's been ridiculous.
I think Rooney has as well. Like,
Rooney's
you know
fair.
what I mean? Like,
Rooney's fair. Rooney's
harsh
fair.
but fair.
Harsh but fair. Yeah.
You know, like, if I'll be really honest, Ray Parlour doesn't really go against the club. I think there's a thing at Arsenal where they
kind of stick together.
Still stick together a little bit.
Adams though, he's scathing.
Yeah, but he's not in that.
Yeah, he's the one before them.
Believe it or not, you know, like Tony Adams is not involved with the club so much. A lot of them do a lot of work for the club, so they have to keep their opinions vanilla.
Yeah.
Do you know
exactly.
what I mean? Like, and at the end of the day, because I don't care. I think Nicky Butt made a fantastic. He was on something I was watching the other day. I actually quite really enjoy what he says. You know what I mean? He doesn't always be complimentary of Arsenal, but he says it how it is, and he was saying, look, you know, if a player's being slagged off, you expect that as a player, and then the next week they're praising that. So I don't see why, you know, you'd get offended by it and everything.
He just got a hard run because the thing he said about Martinez was ridiculous.
Yeah, but I don't even know what he said. But at the end of it, like,
he was wrong. He was wrong.
I think that look. Gary Neville has been very, very good. Like he said a bad thing about Martinelli the other day, and he shouldn't have said it. So what? You know what I mean? He said it. You know what I mean? And whatever. But I ultimately think he's very, very good. Roy Keane's very good. I don't think
none of them are biased. Yeah, I don't
think they're biased. But if you're going to go, Martin Keown could come out.
He's
on
the one who
occasion
just swings it in
and
your favour.
Just if you're going to go on that route, it would go down. Just bloody Martin Keown's let me down here, like, you know what I mean? Just say it as it is sometimes, Martin. Like, But if you want my opinion, I love it the way he defends Arsenal. I was at a show a little while back for the Kevin Campbell Foundation, and he was talking about Spurs. We was playing Spurs, I think, the final, and he made me go into that game knowing that we beat Spurs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So, there's a positive side of it and all that. Like, but sometimes if you've not had a great word, just say how it is. Say how it is. So I would say probably Martin Keown.
So we'll go Arsenal.
We'll go Arsenal.
Yeah, only because of Martin Keown.
Only because of Martin Keown.